Hello everyone. Recently I discovered that in my area there was a Jerry's Artarama, so I of course had to take a road trip and go ahead and visit it, and it was big. It was quite large. So I'm going to pull this all out of the bag, and then I also have a couple extra things to show you that I've gotten recently, and we're going to do a little art haul. All right, so we got a nice big pile here. I have a few of these in a larger size, and they come in really handy, especially for like masking fluid and stuff. They're like the ones with the little rubber tips. So these were a good price there. And I got these little ones, figuring I could get, wow, the package is very hard to get open. I got these littler ones. Hopefully you can see. Hopefully it's focusing. Smaller ones so that we could, or I could, use it for masking fluid and maybe a little bit playing in oils. I've never used ones these small. So that's kind of an exciting one. And then I got to fill up, I ran out of these. So I got Holbein Naples Yellow. It's my favorite Naples. And that is just a restock. I got Daniel Smith Nickel Tendonite Yellow, and I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but really nice yellow. And I got more buff titanium because I put that in almost all my palettes and really ran out of all my tubes of it. This I am going to experiment. If you saw a recent Holbein haul, I got some of those water mixable oils, and so I got this thinking that I could use these in an upcoming near video. I got a surprise for you, and we could try out those water mixable oils and see if they do anything. Now these canvases are supposed to be pretty smooth and pre-primed, and they're just the board ones. Let's go ahead and open those up and see what they feel like. I didn't want to make all that noise. Oh, it is pretty smooth. It's kind of like, it's very smooth. It's like it's been pre-sanded. Very nice. I think that'll be a lot of fun to play with those. And then we have my receipt. Of course, I spent too much money. You know how it is walking into one of the places and getting to fondle everything. And I have to like touch everything when I actually go into the store, because usually, you know, you order online. And so yeah, these are kind of, a couple of these things are kind of extras that I didn't have on my list, but got anyway. But these were really affordable. And what I liked about it was that these are the whole grayscale. And I really liked that. I thought that would be a lot of fun to play with on top of watercolors or just for sketching and see how they work. We're going to test them out in a minute. We'll test out everything in a minute and see how they feel. So we got that. And then they had these on sale. And it was, now I don't have that many pastels and I don't use them that often, but I don't have very many colors. So I was thinking that I probably don't touch them because I don't have a lot of colors to play with. So I was thinking that this would give me, let's go ahead and get the plastic on that. All right, got you a little closer in, got the plastic off. I haven't seen these yet, but it was like just a touch over $20 for 72 colors. And I figured this would be a great way to have a whole bunch. Ooh, really pretty. And they do feel kind of soft. Not quite as soft as some pastels where you're a chalky mess, but this might work quite nice for going over watercolors and playing around. Maybe starting to get used to them and see if I really like using pastels before investing in a ton of money or cost, because they can get really costly. And then another thing I wanted to try were these Daniel Smith sticks. I've been seeing these quite a bit around. Sorry for the noise of the plastic. And I really wanted to see how they actually worked. They came in this little set, little sticker. And so we'll try these out and see how they feel. I'll give you a first impression. This case is kind of a little weird. And I wanted to see. They're actually very hard. And we'll see how they draw in wet and wet and how they actually perform. I mean, you get a lot of color for your money. This was not cheap, but you get a lot of color for your money. I know I'm saying a lot because this is the first time I'm opening all this stuff, so I'm kind of getting like my gist, you know, of what it feels like and everything. So we'll try those and see how they feel. And then most of you know that I have been playing around with egg tempera lately, and I needed something to, I was putting it directly on this glass that I have beneath here. It's like one of these glass, and the glass, it dries so fast. Egg tempera dries so fast that I didn't even have a chance. Like, sometimes it would be so dry already that I'd have to keep pouring out of the tube, and I felt like I was wasting a lot of paint. So I decided to get one of these Sta-Wet palettes for this, and this is the first time I've had this. And it's like stuck there. Big, let me back you up a little bit. Here we go. Sorry, noise. Ooh, it's a tough one. Let me get this cover off first. Well, this definitely has a good seal on it to seal it up, that's for sure. But mostly during the painting time, I was wanting it to be on something slightly damp, where you wet the sponge and then you put on these like paper liners so that your paint stays slightly damp. These, yeah, I'm not sure what, but some of the other ones were so big that it would take up like my whole table here, and I'm still kind of in my makeshift table area here, so it would take up my whole table. So this one was slightly on the smaller side, and so we'll have to see in the future on how that works. And then more excitement. Then I had I don't know if you recognize these Lebenzon brushes, and I know I'm pronouncing that name completely wrong. Let me go ahead and get a little closer. And these have the best points on them that I have ever had. So I had a little instance where the bamboo cracked, and he guarantees his brushes for life. And when I say he guarantees his brushes for life, I mean he sent me a beautiful replacement for the one that I sent in to him. And then he also sent me an additional brush, complimentary, and really beautiful. I mean, that point, hopefully, I'm hoping it focuses. That point is so good. So we are going to swatch out and try out my new brush here as well. And then I was at the Walmart and a little early Halloween thing, and I love me a good coloring book, and I got this just because it looked like a lot of fun to play with. And so for Halloween, I thought this might be kind of fun to, when I'm sitting late at night, kicking my feet up, take out a couple of colored pencils and play around with this a little bit. So that was my little bonus from Walmart. Okay, let me go ahead and get us some paper, and we are going to go and test out a few of these supplies. I'm going to use some of my favorite Mead & Hot Pressed watercolor paper on a block. This paper is great and affordable. I'm going to grab a brush. Let's go ahead and I'll just show you my replacement colors. So we have my favorite. Oop, I'm shedding. Naples. And a little buff. I tell you, you buy 3 tubes of paint and the bill is a fortune and a half. Especially for colors that you go through quite a bit. And this is the Nickel Tighten Yellow. I don't know if I got out too much on that one. No. Seemed like it had a tiny bit of binder. Yep, tiny bit of binder. That's too bad. Let me go ahead and nothing like having a shop towel. The paint feels fine now. Since I got rid of that, I think it was just maybe sitting on the shelf too much. It's a little thin still. Let's see if we've got a little bit more binder separation, or if we're to the, yeah, there's still a tiny bit. I don't know what's up with this tube. Look at that. Wow. All right. Very not good. Oh, clean up, clean up. Let's see if we can get any paint out of here. And it still has more binder separation. There's some paint. Maybe we're to the actual paint. I might have to exchange that one back. I know there's a lot of paint there, but it still has got a lot of binder on it. Not the best, I have to say. The last tube I had of this didn't have any problems or anything. So I wonder if I just got a bad tube. Because now if you look at the tube, like, it's all squished, and these are like a fortune and a half. So not too happy about that. Color, beautiful. All right, let's move on. Let's go ahead and try these semi-hard pastels. And let's try out medium. Oh, I think that's going to do exactly what I'd like it to do. They are hard enough. These are semi-hard, so these are hard enough that you can actually draw a line. You can really see the texture of the hot press paper there. And they still blend really nicely. I'm wondering, and the light color goes right over it, quite nice. Those will be lots of fun to play with. I think they were a little over, or right around $10, so not very expensive. Now, let's go ahead and try out some of these. Let me back you up a little bit. See if we can. And let's do something bright. Okay, these feel, even though these say soft on them, they feel almost the same as the semi-hard. They have more of a, which is kind of nice because when I grab them, I mean, I'm not completely doused in so much pastel that, you know, I can't touch anything. And they still blend nicely. So I think these will be fun to play with. And this, of course, being on hot press paper, it doesn't have a lot of tooth. And not a tremendous amount of dust. I mean, my fingers are still filthy, but that's a given with some pastels. Let's try one more. For the price, though, this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. They all feel the same consistency so far, so none of them feel extremely hard to the next. Pretty, very pretty. I'm running out of room here. And the last up that we're going to try today are these Daniel Smith crayon thingies, or watercolors in a stick. So how do we want to do this? Okay, let's see how they feel dry. I like that. Really nice thin lines. And then I'll wet these and see how they dilute after drying like this. And how vibrant the colors get. And then we'll try a wet and wet. Oh, I didn't even tell you the colors that we're doing. Phthalo green. That was cobalt blue. Lamp black. Quinacridone coral. And Hansa yellow medium. So a nice little array. These don't really have names on the colors of these pastels. And you can't buy them. It didn't look like you could buy them open stock or anything. So they're kind of a use it, love it, run out of it, have to buy the whole set again. Let's just see how these. Yeah, you can still see the lines underneath, which might be great for an effect. And they do dilute out. This is a softer brush, so not scrubbing real hard. And this being hot press paper, you can really see the little bit of texture that is there. Interesting. I've seen a lot of people, let's just go ahead and take like cobalt blue, and where they dip the end and wet it and use it as regular watercolor, which is kind of interesting, especially when it goes over itself and you can still see those texture marks or lines like that. That's interesting. And then now that we have the tip wet on this one, let's go ahead and, oh, not quite wet enough there. You get a much more textured thing. And if we wet that, now that dilutes 100%, and some of it stays behind here. I'm just playing. Yeah, see, you can still see some of those lines from when I did that. That's kind of fun. So let's go ahead and wet this last space, and let's draw into it and see how that works. Ooh, that has almost like a creamy feel. Oh, I like that. Oh, I really like that. That is a really cool feel. When the paper's wet like that, it glides over it so nicely. Yeah, I really like that feeling. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with those. Now, of course, you know, my list will get bigger as I play with them, and I'll want more colors, and that's the way that it always goes. But anyway, let's go ahead. I'll bring everything back in, and we'll talk about the brushes for a second. Overall, really good haul. These pastels are going to be a lot of fun to play with. I think they're a little firmer than the ultra soft ones, but I think that's good for me. These couple of things we'll see in an upcoming oil video. These, I thought I wasn't going to kind of like them that much, but I kept seeing people play with them, and I actually love it. The wet and wet. Oh, love. These, of course, were all restocks. Extremely disappointed in this Daniel Smith Nickel Titanate Yellow. It had like half the tube of binder. The little coloring book that I got is going to be extremely fun to play with, especially at Halloween time. And overall, a really good haul. I'll have links for these brushes with a discount code, and a Jerry's Artarama link in case you want to go visit their site. There's actually more of them than I thought there was. I thought there was only 2 or 3 in the United States, and there was actually like a whole bunch after looking into it. So really fun, huge store. Maybe in the future, if you'd like, I can get you maybe a tour, ask them if I could videotape inside the store or something. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.